Hey guys, so welcome to Film Content Central. This is Arvind, and welcome to our show, My Film, My Journey, where we usually have a very special guest from the movie industry. And during our conversation, we try to not only know about the person's journey into films, but also try to know the person as an individual. So today on our show, we've got a very special actor. We've got an actor who we have seen in movies like DDay, Nikhil Advani's DDay that released in 2013. And then we have seen her in a movie as recently as 2023 in a movie called Love All. And we've also seen her in many movies, including uh, Golmaal Returns and Singham Again. So the actor I'm talking about is a very versatile actress. Uh, as an audience, we really love her screen presence. So let's welcome to our show, Shriswara. Hi, Shriswara.
Hello, Arvinji. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So let me start off the bat with a fan question. We have loved you in movies like D-Day. You've been in a lot of Rohit Shetty films. We've also seen you in Baaghi, and we've also seen you in the 2023 release with KK Menon, Love All. So, as a fan and as an audience, I would really love to see you in a lot more films. Uh, I would really love it if you could, do a lot more films as a part of your slate. So, is there any reason why you restrict yourself to fewer films?
Not necessarily. It wasn't a conscious thing that I will restrict to lesser films. It's just whatever clicks, clicks, and whatever did not click, did not click. It wasn't
All
something
right.
thought.
So, I mean, you let it go with the flow, is it? I mean, so it's not a planned thing to. All right. All right. Okay. Okay. So, but anyways, I mean, as a fan and as an audience, I do wish that we could see you in more films. Uh, so I would like to start with your journey from the limited research that we could do. So if I could paint a picture for our viewers, I guess you have moved from, I mean, so your journey has started from Lucknow and then to California and then to Mumbai and then back to the US, if I'm not wrong. But uh, would you talk to us a bit about that journey? I mean, how that has happened and how did you then get into films, your journey, the start into films?
Um, well, I've always wanted to act since I was small. And I used to consume films probably more than food. And
Okay.
so then as and when eventually when I was able to come to Mumbai, so then I shifted to Mumbai and then I started to struggle as they call it, and then accordingly search for work.
Okay. So, I mean, was that, I mean, so the struggle that you described, was it a struggle as how all actors describe? I mean, was your journey similar to any other actor, or would you call it different or?
I think each actor has a different journey. It's but more or less mota mota is similar in the sense that okay, you go to back then you used to go to production houses and
Yeah.
knock on the door and ask if you're casting, and they used to throw you out.
Oh, okay.
And not that
Okay.
way, but I mean, they're also harrowed now. I mean, like 10, 15 people are coming,
Yeah.
this thing, whatever,
True,
they're
true.
also fed up. So you go and
Yeah.
you know, ask, are you casting? And they're like, this, okay, or if they have an email ID, they say you send your photographs to this thing, so you get a portfolio clicked and then you submit the photographs and then this thing. So this one fine day that it happened and they said send photos. I sent and then I got a call back and okay, fine, photos all right, but audition is you come XYZ, you're to the office. I said okay, went,
Okay.
did the audition and shortlisting and then so on and so forth. It moved. And then that had to repeat every single time, and it still repeats. So
Okay. So this was for D-Day or was it for some other movie?
this was for Bhag Milka Bhag.
Baag Milkha Baag. Yeah. So that was your first starring role, right?
Not starring, it was the first character that I'd done. And
Okay.
so that was this thing. So there the audition was more on volleyball rather than acting. So they
Okay.
said, okay, acting was fine, but we need a person that can play volleyball. I said that I am not. I'm not a sports
Okay.
person. So
Yeah.
they said, no problem, we will train you. And so 6 months you take training, and then at the end of that, we will decide whether we will give you the role or not. I'm like,
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
So that the 6 months training, which was that was very tough and harrowing because it was like going from one side to the Bombay and Vikhroli and all very far places and
Okay.
traveling by bus and staying 2 hours to go, 2 hours come. It was tough. Finally, that got completed. Did get selected. We did shoot, and then it did not.
Yeah. So
This
I mean,
thing.
this was purely the training for 6 months on the on the volleyball skill. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So okay. So I mean, your career as of now, I think I don't know if it's right to call it, but it's kind of as the moment bookended by two great movies, right? So one is with Irfan. So the great Irfan in DDay, I think, where you played his wife, and the latest movie Love All, where you play KK Menon's wife. So I mean, how is it? How was it to work with these two great actors? I mean, they are masters of their craft. Uh, and from what I could, see as a critic and a viewer, you also seem like a very spontaneous actor. So how was it to work with both of them?
Both of them was very wonderful. Irfan sir is very was very lovely in the sense that you can sit back and just watch how you can see him thinking, you could see him living through the scene and the Saturday, then he decides what he will do and so
Connect.
nicely. And then KK Menon sir also, he can both very lovely, very, very lovely.
So how was it to work with both of them?
Both of them was very wonderful. Irfan sir is very was very lovely in the sense that you can sit back and just watch how you can see him thinking, you could see him living through the scene and the Saturday, then he decides what he will do and so forth. So it used to be very,
Okay.
that was very interesting. And then
Hmm.
also connecting as an actor and so forth was very nice. You can either feel the pulse of your co-actor or you don't. So with him,
Yeah.
it was nice and open. You couldn't accordingly, what do you call it, like connect
Connect.
nicely. And then KK Menon sir also, he can both very lovely, very, very lovely. Can't
But
have
how
words.
different are their styles? I mean, are they completely different when they are on set, or and how is it to be a co-actor to them in scenes?
Um,
Are there? Yeah, go on.
it's well, Irfan sir, you can have seen when okay, he's working on the scene, he's thinking, he's understanding, he's living in so on and so forth. With KK sir, you don't see that happening, but he's probably doing it on the inside. Or I'm not
Internally,
exactly
okay, on the
certain what
inside.
his process is, but it's not as evident. But then when he does whatever he does, it's like you forget what you're supposed to do and you'll continue watching.
Yeah. And like how is your process as an actor? I mean, I'm sure that you've been asked this question before, but as an actor, are you like a method actor? Are you in the moment, or do you what? How do you describe your process?
I have to live the scene. I cannot get my brain involved. If my brain gets involved, that's it. Kahani khatam.
Hmm. Well, it's more about feeling the scene and all right, got it. Okay, okay. So, I mean, coming back to your journey, I mean, the different places and cities that you were in. I mean, as an actor, would you say that, the cultural, significance of a place or the context of a place, does that play a role in how you behave as an actor, in terms of how you perform your roles, your different life experiences? Does that play a role in
And,
how you perform as an actor?
um, I don't think so because at that point in time, I'm not playing me.
Mm,
And it depends on how much of the environment I let inside of myself and I keep it or I don't.
mm.
And so if I'm playing someone else, then whatever their context or their environment is, that has to be my environment at that time.
Okay.
So for that reason, also like it's easier, like on set, also like don't call me by Shriswara, call me whatever the character name is. So I'm still in that mindset. It helps.
Okay. So, but do you actually have that request to your co-stars and crew on set that call you by the character name?
Sometimes they automatically do that also. Like every once in a while,
Oh,
maybe they'll do the Shriswara, but more or less you get called by the character name, which also helps. I like.
okay. 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 All right. So, I mean, so which has been your favorite character so far in all the roles that you have played?
As a character itself, um, the character sort of got edited a little bit, but I like the character I played in Rangoon. She was a bit of a strange creature,
Yeah,
but it was. And then a lot of the scenes had also gotten edited from that one, but whatever was there was fun. There was a song and all that. Then
yeah, yeah,
DDay I also enjoyed very much.
yeah.
And then even to a certain extent, when I was playing Baba Ramdev's mother, the whole Gao wala, I like that. It was nice.
Okay. I mean, great that you brought up Rangoon. I was going to ask you about that. In fact, the song that you mentioned, right? I think it's a song on top of the train, Tippa, right? I mean, Tippa.
I'm talking about the other one where they did a whole. They had 3 stages. It was a one take song.
Oh, okay, you're talking about that.
It
Okay.
wasn't in the film.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. But I mean, this one that we got to see was one in the train, and I think
Uh,
so. I mean, you and Gajaraj Rao and uh, I mean Saharsh Shukla. I mean, underrated actor, I feel. So I mean, all of you were part of this acting troupe, I would say, right? I mean, the group that travels with Kangna, and I really love that song. I mean, the song that is done on the train.
song is.
It's beautiful song and one of Vishal Bharadwaj's I would say less successful movies, but still, I mean, his craft and his typical style really comes through. I mean, I really
Mhm.
love that song and I mean, how was it working with Vishalji and with him as a director? I mean, did you?
It was lovely. He's a very artistic creature, which, of course, again, musically inclined, and
Yeah, yeah.
it's nice. He would come on set, and then you would decide the scene and allow the environment to speak to him and connect, and then you would accordingly structure things. It was nice. It was lovely.
I mean, he's more of a spontaneous. I mean, so he just plans, but also lets the environment. I mean, sort of play things. Got it. Yeah.
Ah,
Okay. 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 So I mean, so on one side we talk about things like Rangoon and Vishal Bharadwaj, and at the other spectrum we have Rohit Shetty's films, right? I mean, typical masala entertainers, but really good films again. I mean, really do well. Again, that is also creativity, entertainment. A lot of hard work goes into that. And you have
mhm,
been part of three of his movies, right? Simba
mhm.
and both the Golmaal and the Singham franchises. So, would you consider yourself a part of Rohit Shetty's team? I mean, the one that he says, in terms of that, because you've been uh, cast again and again in his movies.
I've been blessed that he has been kind enough to call me 3 times. I don't, as long as you say a team, that means there's also those that are not part of a team. So
Hmm. And,
everyone, there's no border that way. It's
but how is it to be on a Rohit Shetty set? I mean, is it
lovely.
complete teamwork and
Teamwork, they work like clockwork. Like as
okay,
far as
okay,
their timing, they're considering that there's so many people involved, considering that there's so much to happen, they work like clockwork. Everyone, I
hmm.
guess they've repeated the same uh, crew and everything, and most of the films and so
Yeah,
forth. So
yeah,
they all know
correct.
each other's beat and so forth. Well, it's lovely. It's amazing how they work.
So they almost work like shorthand. I mean, it's like everybody knows each other's gestures and they don't have to like even uh
I don't know how they communicate amongst
yeah,
themselves. I'm just saying as far as timing wise or whatever, like
yeah.
when they call a person on set or what scene is
Okay,
being
okay.
shot or how it's being shot or this and the other
Oh,
thing,
okay, 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 okay,
everything is already just done to the finest detail already. It just
okay.
they're very thorough.
Okay, I mean it's well planned. It's really done on time, disciplined. Okay, okay. All right,
Very
great, great. So one more thing, one really interesting work of yours that I like is the short film Rogan Josh. Uh, uh, I happened to see that again just I think a couple of weeks back, and it's a beautifully short film, right? I mean, you got to. I mean, so your co-actors are Nasruddin Shah and Shishir Sharma, and all these great stalwarts again. Uh, so, what is your opinion about working in short films and short film formats? Uh, I mean, is it something that you're inclined to, and do you think that it's got a future in terms of entertainment?
As a future in entertainment, meaning that it has its own presence and use, and they are done. And you say something very interesting in a very short period of time, so they have their impact. And their essence, which is very lovely in that sense.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
already have their place. I don't think they have a future, and they already have their place. That
Yeah,
can be
because I
worked
mean,
up.
in the Indian context, especially, I mean, we see that, you know, the shorter format is struggling. I mean, we don't really see much distribution or business for that, as we may see maybe in European countries or even the US. But uh, I mean, do you think as an actor that, you know, it should be probably, you know, encouraged more? I mean, in terms of both the industry and the audience as well, you know, in terms of what you get to see.
Certainly, I think audience will consume whatever is available, and especially if it's good, if it's
Yeah.
worthy and it's done well, then audience will definitely take. Whether the other side is supportive or not, as far as the funds are concerned or the making of concerned and so forth, that is, yeah, that improvement. There's always room for improvement on that scale, but if to value some nice things, it would be good, nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, typically, I guess short films, I mean, वो शायद छोटे budget के साथ आते हैं. I mean, they come with a smaller budget and
लोग जेब
tighter
से बनाते हैं.
schedules. अच्छा. हाँ, I know a lot of filmmakers actually probably do that. Yeah, true, true. So
Later on,
शायद उसकी
after then they get support, but then yeah, it's tough.
माने उसकी funding इतनी easily नहीं मिलती जितना कि एक proper longer format के लिए मिलेगी, right? उसके अलावा, I mean, आपने ये you've also done web shows, right? You've done stuff like filter copy and those things.
Filter copy, I think, was an ad. Long
You
ad.
did. Okay, it was a longer ad. The I think the parenting or something like that, which I saw, happened to see a couple of things on that. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, how open are you to do these web shows or, you know, these format things?
If content is good, I'm not a very big fan of more violence and gore and the lowest expression of human existence. I'm not interested in those type of things. Anything that is more inspiring, more uplifting, more
Yeah,
of this thing,
understood.
I'd like that. The medium doesn't matter. Platform doesn't
So I
matter.
mean, so I guess, I mean, OTT is full of that these days. Lot of, you know, like what you're talking about, right? I mean, violence and the darker side of the human nature, right? It's full of that. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if audiences uh, are expecting that and want to consume that, or, you know, if it's a trend. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I agree with you that the uplifting movies and those movies are lesser in comparison to the violence and the darker side of things, which is true. Yeah, but I mean, do you think there's a reason behind that? I mean, is it as a society or as a, you know, culture? Do you think that we tend to appreciate the darker side of things more and not see the brighter side of things?
If I may be honest, I think we look towards the West a little bit too endearingly
Okay.
and without fore or afterthought.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that in a good way. It's understanding what something is, what effects it has when you watch it, when you make it, when you engage in something like that. It doesn't have a very good vibe to it. It doesn't leave you with a very good feeling when you're engaging in that and walking out with that type of thing. You create that atmosphere. You're also feeding your own society. You're feeding your own life. It's not a wise thing to do. People do that because they think it'll sell. It is consumed on a large amount because also, again, problems people can see. It's blatant. You can watch the news, you see problems. You see in your own life, okay, you see problems. But if you focus
Yeah.
only on the problems, you see more problems. And then you start saying, yeah, other person is also troubled. I'm also troubled. Yeah. Then bye. It's not enough to just leave it at that. Okay, you have a problem, you have this thing, something of how to overcome it, how to strengthen, how to better it, solve it, not just this thing. But it becomes, there's also a little bit of, I'm sorry, irresponsibility of where they say, नहीं, हमारा काम है problem बताने की, हमारी creative आजादी है. It's not a creative azadi, it's an irresponsibility. Because you're reaching masses, you're reaching huge numbers of people. You can't just show a problem and say, look how damned we are as a living species and just leave it at that. उसके लिए news काफी है. You don't.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand what you're saying, right? Because a lot of filmmakers, including a lot of really celebrated ones, do say what you're saying, that art's job is to mirror society. I mean, it is to show what exists, right? I mean, so for example, if you're making a gangster film, or if you're making a film on some other darker themes, filmmakers typically tend to say that, okay, this exists in society, which is why we are showing it. And there's also an argument saying that if films could influence society, then a lot many things could go wrong. Uh, so what is your take on that? Because I understand where you're coming from. I mean, it's a huge debate, and I mean there are two sides to the whole debate, right? But do you think that art, like you said, with the idea of mirroring society, should also have responsibility? That's what you're trying to say, right?
Yes.
So you're saying that, but do you think that art or filmmakers could really suggest solutions to problems? I mean, is that possible?
Not suggest solutions, but give it a little bit more thought as to what is the cause behind it. Like it's not sufficient to say like Hali mein jo case, let's say Calcutta, let's say if tomorrow another film gets made on such a subject. The
Hmm.
easy answer is to shoot the other person or kill off the person. Ye samadhan nahi hua. This is
Hmm.
again more violence to something already violent. There's
Yeah.
a little bit more depth, a little bit more less than one dimensionality is required for the depth of this. If you're an artist, you are a multidimensional. You're functioning from multi dimensions. You're not functioning from one dimension. You can't see things so black and white also. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit. It's more encouraging for your own art, not to say to you, okay, you say this is how you solve it, or this is how you prevent it, or this is how you. Not in that sense, but go a little bit more deeper into the human psyche. Go a little bit more deeper into the soul.
Yeah.
आपका ये भी तो काम है ना कि मतलब you're understanding emotions, you're understanding the visceral part of the human being. This is still superficial what you're seeing outside.
Yeah.
So
But
that way.
yeah. I mean, would you say that shows like Patal Lok, if you have seen that, or Delhi Crime, I mean, do you think that they have probably managed to strike that sort of a balance?
Delhi Crime did, I don't remember Pata look too well, but they did come from the police expect. Yes, they did do it sensitively. They did matlab, there was some.
All the angles were explored in depth, is what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And in that context, probably documentaries do a lot better, right? In terms of what they try to show. I mean, they try to show reality, but also try to explore everything from all angles. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. True, true, true.